Welcome back to Life Full of Zest. Today we are going to be doing a lower body, lower limb workout. We're going to be doing everything standing up, so we're going to be focusing on a lot of proprioception, balance and stability. Please just be aware when we are doing these exercises that you still maintain that good pelvic control. You're activating those core and those glutes just to make sure that you maintain that good perfect posture while we are moving around that mat in that standing position. Let's get straight into it. We're going to be starting in the center of the mat. We're going to place our right foot outwards and toes pointing towards the right hand side. We're going to take a deep breath, and on that exhale we're reaching over to the left hand side and back to center, and we're just going to do 5 of these just to get a little bit of a warm up before we get into our activations. Let's do 2 more. Exhale out, inhale center, and last one. Exhale out, inhale center, rotating that right foot forward and then that left foot out towards the left hand side. Deep breath in, exhale, rotating towards the right hand side and reaching up and over towards the right hand side. That's 2. Inhale center, exhale out, inhale center, last 2 and 1 and 2. We're going to stay in the center of the mat. I just want you to turn around to face the front of the mat. We're going to start on our left leg. We are going to imagine like there's a little picket fence in front of us, and I want you to lift that right leg. You're externally rotating, so you're rotating that knee outwards, lifting it up, and then leaning yourself forward into a forward lunge. As we get to that forward lunge position, bringing arms up overhead, allowing a stretch into that hip flexor, then slowly lifting back up and controlling yourself back and over into a reverse lunge. So that's the movement. Just make sure during your reverse lunges and your forward lunges that you maintain that 90-degree angle in both knees, leaning forward, bringing arms up towards the ceiling, stretching that hip flexor out, extending both legs, then transferring your weight back and then over. And that's 2. We're going to do 5 on each leg. So prepare yourself, keeping that core tight, lifting yourself over the picket fence and leaning forward and lifting those arms up. Just tilt in that pubic bone, rotate inwards so that you can get a little stretch into that hip flexor, and controlling yourself back and up. That's 3. Extending those legs, transferring your weight over onto your front foot, lifting your leg up and over and forward. And this is our 4th one. 1 more. After this one, extend those legs, transfer that weight, stabilizing yourself and leaning back. Last one. Lifting up, controlling, lifting over that picket fence, stepping forward and reaching up and back, extending both legs, transferring your weight and slowly back into that reverse lunge and extending up, slowly lifting up. Before we change over to the other leg, we're going to do a little single leg standing Superman hold. So you're reaching forward, bending that stabilizing knee and extending both arms and right leg and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting that knee up into a high knee and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly dropping that right leg down and lifting that left leg in preparation for our next sequence. So we are lifting that leg up, rotating it outwards and lifting over that picket fence and leaning forward into a forward lunge as we bring our arms up towards the ceiling, reaching forward. Inhale and exhale, extend those legs and control yourself back up and stepping over that picket fence into a reverse lunge, bringing arms overhead and back, controlling yourself forward. And well done. That's our first one on this right hand leg, extending those legs, core tight. Use your core and your glutes to control yourself up and over, and leaning back and extend, and slowly controlling yourself up, leading through that stabilizing heel and forward, leaning down and back, all the way back up, controlling yourself all the way over. We've got 2 more. Arms up towards the ceiling and back. So when those arms go up towards the ceiling, you'll notice that the 90 degrees isn't as perfect, but then we lean back, get that perfect 90 degree, extend those legs and control yourself back over. And imagine that white picket fence to be quite high. So you really have to lift that leg up and over and lead forward. And this is the last one. Well done, everyone. And extend and lift yourself back up and over, leaning back into that lunge, then leaning forward for that hip flexor stretch, slowly back, extending, getting ready for that single leg standing Superman hold, transferring your weight forward, straightening that leg, core tight, slight bend in that stabilizing knee, and reaching for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming up and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leaning that left foot all the way back and bending that right foot down and slowly opening that left hand up towards the ceiling as we have our right hand on the floor, left leg extended, deep breath in, exhale back, and we're going to do 5 of these. That's 2 and 3 and 4. Last one, we're going to hold in the air. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reaching forward, bringing that hand back down and keeping both hands on the floor. Taking right foot back behind you, bringing left foot next to your left hand to do that same thing. Deep breath in, exhale, lifting up, hand towards that ceiling and back down. That's 1 and 2. Keep going. And 3 and 4. Last one. And 5. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reaching forward and slowly coming back down. Bringing that left leg back behind you and lifting your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Allowing that head to come through those arms and just holding. We're going to walk out those calves. Deep breath in, bending right knee as we push left heel into the ground and change over. And change over, and change over, and last one, and pushing both heels into the ground, rotating that tailbone up towards the ceiling, and slowly walking your hands back towards your feet, palms facing each other. Allow that spine just to stretch out in this position. I want a slight bend in your knees, and slowly articulating through that spine to roll yourself back up into a standing position. We're going to roll back down, deep breath in, exhale, rolling chin, head and neck all the way forward, down, 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 down. From here, you're in that rounded C curve and you're in the back quarter of your mat. I want you to slowly bend those knees just a little bit more. And now we're going to extend that back. And we're slowly going to do little pulsations. Just make sure that those shoulders are shoulder width apart, core is nice and tight, and you're lifting up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly holding, bringing arms up towards the ceiling. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly dropping those arms down, rounding that C curve, extending those knees slightly, and slowly rolling yourself back up into standing position. We're going to do that one more time. Let's take a deep breath in, exhale, tucking in that chin, and head, neck, and chest all the way down, rounding, articulating through that spine. Allow that body to fall. Now bending those knees slightly. Pretend like you're sitting on a chair, and you are slowly going to extend that back. Go as low down as you feel confident and comfortable. I want you to feel it into here and into your quads and into your core, and slowly bringing arms overhead and little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bringing those arms closer towards your ears and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bringing those arms down and bringing yourself all the way onto an all fours position, but keeping your knees hovering. And we're slowly going to hold in that all fours position for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those knees down to rest in that rest position while I explain the next movement to you. So you are going to bring your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. We're going to lift and hover those knees off the ground. We're going to inhale and exhale, tuck those knees back and then forward. But don't go too far forward. I don't want you putting any strain on your wrists. But all the way back, glutes to heels, and slowly controlling forward. But I want you to stay on that same plane. So don't lift your glutes, don't lift your shoulders. And let's do 3 more after this one. Keep going. And 1. And 2. Last one. And 3. And slowly back into rest position. And then lifting yourself up and walking your hands back towards your toes. Deep breath in and slowly rolling yourself back up into a standing position. Just imagine like there's a little circle going around you on the floor. We're going to start with our right leg on the floor, or whichever leg you feel more confident with. I want your hands on your hips, and I want you to imagine that this circle extends just beyond that limit or that range of motion of where you can control. So we're going to bend that leg slightly, and we're going to extend that non-stabilizing leg out in front of us. And now we are drawing our toes along the outskirts of that imaginary circle all the way around, and challenge yourself. I want you to go as far as you can go. Now from here, I want you to use your left hand or the opposite side of your core, as well as your stabilizing glutes, to control yourself back and around, keeping those shoulders and those hips straight, back into high knee with T position. That's the sequence. Let's do 4 more of those, dropping that leg down and reaching all the way around. Challenge yourself, see how far you can reach, and controlling, making sure those hips and shoulders are forward. If you want to get more range, you can bend your knee more, controlling around, 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 back into high knee. That's 2. All the way down and reaching around. Deep breath in, exhale, lifting up. 2 more. All the way around, round, round, and back. Challenge yourself. You should be getting a beautiful burn in those lower limbs, those glutes and quads. And slowly coming back up, and we're going to hold in that high knee for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight from here. Last little push, leaning forward, extending your leg backwards, and we're going to hold in that Superman hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Let's just roll out that ankle that we've just used. Nice big circles in those ankles. Very nice. I'm feeling a beautiful burn into those calves and pretty much all the way down my limbs. But that was a good push. Let's get into the other leg. So the leg that you weren't stabilizing is now the stabilizing leg, creating that imaginary circle around our bodies on the floor, toe in front of you, and reaching all the way around and going as far as you can, then controlling yourself around and back into high knee and T-point. And again, just make sure that you're not using momentum, but you're allowing the activation of your muscles to maintain that precision and that articulate movement. So you want to activate that core, to lift that knee. You want to draw those scaps down that back. So there's intention behind every movement at every range of motion. And you want to do things with purpose. You want to do things with intention. So just make sure. And even when you get into this position, make sure you're maintaining that balance. You're keeping the arches of your feet nice and lifted. Everything is done with absolute quality, control, and purpose. And I'm talking so much that I've lost count. Let's do one more for luck. And slowly down, reaching forward and circulating all the way around, getting ready for our high knee hold with T-point position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly reaching yourself forward and holding, bending that stabilizing knee slightly, arms and legs parallel to the ground. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly dropping down so that we can just loosen up that ankle and do some little ankle rolls and circles. And slowly coming back to the end of that mat, we are going to step our right foot in front of us into a lunge position, reaching forward, and just allow that hip flexor to stretch out. Deep breaths, allow that heart rate to decrease, and slowly coming back up. We're going to try and get that balance so that we can grab that back foot, bringing that heel towards that glute. And if you have to, you can hold on something. Otherwise, I want you to bring that opposite hand up towards the ceiling. And you are tilting and pushing that pelvis around and forward, allowing a stretch into that quad. So deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending that front leg back straight, toe towards ceiling, and leaning that chest down, placing hands on the floor if you need to, and allowing that stretch, slight rotation of that pelvis outwards, and holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just keeping that foot where it is, keeping your knee where it is. You're just rotating inwards and around. So you're just moving your shoulders and you're changing your direction that you're facing. And now we are leaning down so that we can get a groin stretch. So we went from this position and just moved inwards. And now we're still rotating the tailbone out and we're just holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center and lifting that leg back and around and placing it, the other leg in front of you, stacking that vertebra and leaning forward, allowing that hip flexor to stretch out. If you don't get a stretch in that hip flexor, activate the glute of the back leg and tuck in that pelvis a little bit more, and you'll find that you can get that stretch. Well done, everyone. Let's lift, lean a little bit back, lifting that back heel towards that glute and extending that other arm up towards the ceiling. If you struggle with your knees being on the floor, I'd recommend just grabbing a little pillow or something to place under your knee so that you can manage. And let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, extending that front foot, open shoulders, leaning your chest down, placing your hands on the floor, slight rotation of the tailbone outwards just to emphasize that stretch. Back nice and straight and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, moving your shoulders, bringing both hands inwards so that you can allow that rotation. So we're going from our chest being towards our knee to our chest being towards the floor. And just again pushing that groin into the ground, rotating that tailbone outwards and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that leg back into an all fours position, tucking those toes in under your feet so that you can lift your glutes up towards the ceiling, rotating that tailbone out. We're just going to walk those calves out again. We did a lot of stability work, so we're going to feel quite stiff into those calves. But I always say, when you're feeling stiff, it's a good reflection of the fact that you worked hard and put in a big effort. So really well done. Let's just keep that right knee bent, pushing that left heel into the ground and allow that stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing over for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both heels on the ground if you can, otherwise keeping your toes in a tiptoe position, just walking those hands back towards your toes, slight bend in that knee. Deep breath in, exhale slowly, rolling yourself back up into a standing position. Thanks everybody, I hope you enjoyed that workout. See you in the next video.